in here. Let me know how this sounds. I tried it before and it was way too loud. Let me know if this is like way too loud and my voice is being covered by the music. I don't care if you like this music or not. I can change it in the future, but I'm curious to hear. But until someone lets me know, I'm going to leave it on for now. What's up? It is Wednesday, July 24th. You are looking at my TopstepX platform. Make sure everything looks good. Yeah, we look pretty good. Looking at my TopstepX platform. I'm going to try to do a better job of marking up my trades before I hop on live. If I've taken some that I've recorded and that I'm going to talk about later in the day. I've done that here. Market is just still selling off. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Coming out of this New York lunch, 12:46 p.m. Eastern. We can do a little, music is very loud. Yeah, that's what I thought. There we go. Let's start again. Thank you, my man in the chat. Wesley at Discord. I trade live back and forth between morning and afternoon. Probably going to go back to more in the afternoon right around this time frame or for power hour, just based on scheduling. But I've run a couple of them over the last 2 weeks at 10:30. Put myself on a nice win streak for the YouTube lives, but probably going to be in the afternoon going forward. But again, man, I'm trying to find my way with scheduling this whole thing around the market making sense, allowing me for some time to focus on the markets myself and with one-on-one clients, and then also just have it make sense as a whole to be trading, right? We don't want to be trading during the middle of the night Asia session or something like that. So I'll keep you updated in Discord for sure. Try my best to let you guys know ahead of time when I'm going live, what I'm looking at. So let's review a couple trades real quick, and then I'll take these off my chart. If we look at what happened last night, gap down. I took this long play for an overnight swing somewhere down here. Showed me this is probably like 200 or so or $300 a profit before coming down and stopping me out. Again, I let these run overnight sometimes. That was my game plan. Still experimenting with some of that, but it was just an easy shot. Gap fill, near a 2-to-1 risk to reward. I'll take those losses on the way to the winners. But Asia did not bid this up, obviously. We continued selling off all the way through London, all the way into a little bit choppy in London, but all the way into pre-market. And as you can see, we put our pre-market low in right around 8:50 a.m., 8:48 a.m. Eastern. Sold off right at market open, and it's been pretty ugly, right? Pretty far to the downside right now. So I waited. I gave you guys analysis every day. I gave you my charts. If you're not in the free Discord, hop in the free Discord. I talked about waiting a little bit if the market opened up and started to sell off right away. I did that, waited for this to start to sell off. This nice break and retest, along with a level of liquidity that was forming on Bookmap down here, which I'll show you guys in the recap later, probably something along those lines, or I could show you later live on here, was enough for me to get short. Took it with a pretty tight stop, tighter than I'm usually taking. This is decently sized price action, so the amount of points or ticks is not a lot smaller, just relative to the price action we had, right? Like I'm right above this candle. Again, I got some reasonings over here. If you guys want to read that, that's cool. But we're down below all the levels, down below VWAP. Saw the break below pre-market low. Here was break and retest if you were going to get short super aggressive. Didn't want to take that in case we started to come right back up. We broke down. I waited, and we got some big momentum coming down towards a nice zone that was here. I figured this was a solid place to get in. Jumped in short. Got stop loss to break even once we got pretty close to the target, just in case it was going to wick back up. I'd rather just take the break even and not the full loss on here. This was $350. I set the TP one tick above the level as I've been doing. That played nicely. You can see we kind of got a reaction right as we got down into that 24-25 level. Yeah, it was 55.25. That was the area I was looking. We did get a little bit of a reaction, but then it just continued down from here. I was trading with one contract on both these, so didn't have an option to leave anything on. I don't know that I would have on this one. I was halfway expecting some kind of a pullback up into the zone. Maybe we're going to start to see that later, but not yet. So that was trade number one, played out nice. This one, I was looking at liquidity starting to build up on Bookmap around 55.30. Did I write it down? Yeah, 55.30. Up here, we had some liquidity stacking up. We looked like we were starting to consolidate, right? Like if you play this forward, we looked like we were just starting to push up. That started to come off just ever so slightly, and we started to see some stuff light up below. Along with that, fighting the trend and just feeling like we were going to move potentially lower into this zone, I cut this one short right away, 1 point, in and out, and it ended up being $50. But if I do that, sometimes it's break even, sometimes it's a loss, whatever it is. If I get myself into a trade, maybe I execute and I just am not comfortable with the risk structure. Maybe I'm starting to see something develop really quickly, and I say, you know what, I'm just going to hold off on this. I'd rather re-enter later or miss the trade. So that's what this one was. A lot of times I don't talk about that type of stuff, but it's worth noting because these are my only 2 trades for the day, and you can get it from my P&L on this account. I shouldn't say that. I played with a almost dead account and killed it. Had like $100 to max loss, and I killed that one. But that's pretty much it for my trading outside of the overnight swing, which I called live. Yeah, that's what we had going on. It also tapped this zone. This is a discretionary level that I have coming off price action. Tapped right into that and started to react. So it was a little bit more indication that maybe we were going to get long, but I'm glad I cut this one where I did. It would not have played nicely. So I'm going to get rid of these off the chart. Yeah, let's take a look at where we're at now today. Here's the 15-minute. I like to zoom out a little bit. This is my level, right? This is my zone. Pretty simple. Coming off of highs and lows that we had tested multiple times as support, as resistance, and then as support. You can call it just an area of interest. That's what I'm going to try to call these from now on. Not an order block or a supply and demand level or anything else. Just area of interest. Discretionary. I marked it off based on me saying, this is where I want the top of the zone to go. This is where I want the bottom of the zone to go. No special rule. We've broken down below all of these lows here, and we are pushed down pretty far into this level right here. Next area is going to be all the way down here. That's what I have marked below this. If we look like we're going to continue, I'm struggling to short this like the rest of us here. We do have volume dying off. We have momentum dying down. We are starting to move ever so slightly. We're coming off that steep drop off, right? We're not consolidating here. We're not ranging. This is still a clean downtrend, right? We've got, back on the 1 minute here, zoomed back in. We've got lower lows and lower highs, very clean to the downside. It looks like we're going to keep continuing this move, right? It's tough to short this, in my humble opinion. You could have gotten short and held. I could have gotten short and held that one all the way down. You could have gotten short pretty much anywhere. It would have worked out pretty nicely for you with a wide enough stop. As we pull back, you could look at getting short. As we break down, you could look and get it short. For me, I'm in a little bit of the wait and see, right? We're at this area. My zones aren't perfect. I was paying attention to the top and the bottom of this. If we continue down, I may just try to jump on this gravy train and keep riding it down. If we start to consolidate here and look like we're bottoming out and we get some serious shift in structure coming to the upside, maybe breaking above some highs with some volume behind it, along with order flow giving me something, which it really isn't right now, above or below price, I may look for a long. Again, I like to trade with the trend, right? My short today, this morning, that worked out very nicely, trading with the trend. Look what happened from last night. As soon as market opened, we sold off all the way down. What happened at the open? We're selling off. Maybe you go short. Simple as that. Find a spot to take it short. And that's what I did this morning. We've continued that, right? We might start a really tiny uptrend, but I'm buying pretty damn close to the bottom, unless I really am waiting for some structure to the upside. And what I mean by market structure is higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows. Are we starting to break above this high, pull back down, not come below the lows, break back above this high, and continue that bullish structure to the upside? Are we going to consolidate? Are we going to keep this downtrend structure rolling that we've seen all day? But yeah, so as of right now, I'm kind of in wait and see mode. Right down around this zone. Again, just where we're at for the day. I want to come on here and take trades with you guys right away. I was waiting to see if we got some movement to the upside, or we started breaking down even more aggressively. I was going to hop on even earlier than I already did, but here we are. So I'll be on watching the market. This was a hell of a move today. A lot of times you do see the shift back up towards the zone, back up towards the range of the day, rather, back into pre-market, or a continuation, just a gnarly continuation where we're going to trend to the downside. So, I'm going to look to push this account a little bit if at all possible. This was a fresh one from, I think I just started this week. It's a combine. I got $400 in profit. I don't like to turn winning days into losing days, but if the market presents an opportunity, I will take that buffer that I've built and use a little bit of that dynamic support and resistance, dynamic risk management that we talked about, where as you start to build a buffer, as you start to move into profit, maybe you consider increasing your risk. Dynamic, right? You're starting from zero, maybe you start pretty small. You run into drawdown, maybe you cut it, maybe you size down even more. You move into profit, maybe you increase risk. There's an obvious disadvantage of doing that, which is you can quickly give back all the profit that you made. We don't know the distribution of wins and losses. If I say as soon as I get into profit, I double my size, there'll be a lot of days where I give all that initial profit back, where if I hadn't doubled my size, maybe it would just still be a small loss. But that's up to the person, how aggressive you want to be on your account. How, just your personality, your risk management style, your approach, how many trades you take, all the things add into that. So watching Bookmap, I'll show you guys, and then feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'm happy to talk about trading with you guys while we're waiting. Here's like super zoomed out on Bookmap. I did have to restart my Bookmap, so I'm not so comfortable looking back all the way here. I find that it's reliable when you're running it all day and it's collecting the data. But if I'm super zoomed out, right, I don't see anything major on the chart until we get way back up to 55.37. We got a little bit up there. We got a little bit at that 55.30 level, still sitting there. Not as much as earlier in the day if I was able to go back more. A little bit up here. Definitely some orders on the book for sells though, right? A little bit up here, but nothing insanely major sticking out at me. Oh, I don't want to go that zoomed in. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Nothing major sticking out at me. Let's say like 10 points above and 10 points below on ES. We don't have a super lit up level here where I say, hey, maybe we're going to look to move towards that area of liquidity. And when we get there, I might expect something to happen. Either we, take all that, absorb and push through, buyers in control if it was above it, or maybe we get a reaction to the downside. It's going to continue lower, but we were going to come back up there and, take all those orders first. So don't have any of that. That's just how the order book works. Again, there's a lot of different ways to read the DOM, a lot of different ways to utilize this information. I'm certainly not the expert at it. Order flow is fairly new to me. I've got more experience with no volume than I do using volume and level 2 data, but I've added it in, and over the last few weeks, it has been super helpful. Still too early to say, hey, Bookmap's the next best thing. Reading the DOM for Zach is going to be game changing. It's better. I'm doing way better. I can only give you initial, feedback on it, but I like to be realistic, right? This is trading. We got to look at what happens over a large sample size. Paying attention to, a week of trading or a couple trades. That's not really going to do anything for you. That's why I do this. That's why I come on here and try to trade live. Show you guys my recaps from when I am trading in the morning when I'm recording, from scratch, to show you the ups and downs, show you when stuff works, when stuff doesn't work, and that, most guys don't operate with a massive win rate, right? Maybe a little bit positive and maybe a little bit positive on the risk reward, and that's enough to consistently pull money out of the markets. So, so that's Bookmap. I like to have I've been liking to have like 15 to 20 minutes worth of data on this chart. That seems to work pretty well for me. Yeah, 55.30 is really the next level that I'd be looking at for like a level that's standing out at me, and then all the way up to 55.30. Let's say 37.5 is the peak Let's call it 37 and be safe. Let's take a look. Here's that 55.30 level. Let's throw some rays on the board. Here's that 55.30 level, just so we could see it while we're not staring at Bookmap. That's an ugly color. Here is, what do we say, 37? Yeah, I'll be exact with it, and then I'll set my targets or whatever I'm going to do based off of these levels. Let's say 37.25 looks pretty good. As stuff shows up on Bookmap, I will keep you guys updated. I'll let you know. But right now, whole lot of nothing. What's up, Relaxy Zen? What's up, Steven? When it's this far extended, I look for a long and got burned. Yeah, man. Look, everybody's different. But as a whole, the human mind works in an interesting way. We tend to have what Tom Hogarth from his book Best Loser Wins. If you haven't read that, you should probably just leave the live right now and go read that. It's a great book, and that book will will give you a lot of good input. What he talks about in there is the supermarket mentality, where we're trained when things are low, prices are low, we're perceiving it as a good deal. It's a cheap place to buy. When prices are high, we're thinking, this is overpriced. This is not a good place to buy. If I sell this, I'll probably make money because I'm expecting it to come down. That doesn't work very well in the financial markets. In general, trends prevail. The market suffers from inertia. There seems to be an anomaly with the US markets that they go up over time. You can take a look at trends and how they form throughout the day and say, hey, look, as we start to go up, we tend to continue in that direction for a little bit. If you are constantly looking to buy as price is falling and constantly looking to sell as price is rising and you're trading counter trend, it can be more difficult than if you're just trading along with that trend. Now, there's strategies and approaches that work well for both. It's a really important thing to identify within yourself, I think early on, whether you like to trade with the trend, whether you find it easier to sell as price is going down, or you love to trade against the trend. You have a contrarian view of the markets. If you can identify that, it will make it easier to form a strategy and approach that has less resistance for you, in my humble opinion. So, trading's hard enough as it is. Part of strategy development and making steps towards having a consistent edge in the market is finding something that fits well with your personality style, the way that you perceive the markets. There's another great quote. I can't remember exactly who it's from, but it's that we don't trade the markets. We trade our perception of the markets, which I believe is true, right? We're perceiving this market information, and it's based on whatever tools you're using, however you've learned to read that market, and you're trading based on that. Yeah, nice hat, by the way. I got the Top Step hat on. Support number one, man. That's it. So you're trading your perception of the market. If you're constantly, perceiving something and then having to fight that internal thought process to trade your strategy, it's going to make it twice as hard to trade. So, my recommendation to guys really early on, maybe to this gentleman, if you find yourself constantly looking to long as price is going down, maybe you do have this contrarian view and you look for strategies that are primarily looking for counter trend. Maybe it's range. So you're selling as price is rising, you're buying as price is falling. You'll find it easier to take those types of trades. As a whole, if you put a gun to my head and said, hey, Zach, do you think it's better and easier to trade with the trend or against the trend in a broad spectrum from like high time frames to low time frames and with momentum on the candle individually? I'd say with the trend, with price, which the way that price is moving, that's the easiest way to do it, in my humble opinion. I regularly take counter trend trades. I take aggressive trades off of certain levels. I sell as price is coming up right to hit a level. You'll see me do it live. You'll see it in recaps. I have to say, I got some dangerous plays there that work pretty well. But as a whole, when I review my data, and I look at the chart, I look at the trend from high time frames to low time frames, and I look where I entered. I find that the trades that play out in my favor more often, or at very least give me some room to manage the trade by moving in the direction that I'm trading first, are the ones where I'm trading with the trend, with the momentum of price action. I'm buying as price is trending up and as that candle is pushing up. It can be difficult to do. Again, for certain people, just depends on your personality. In general, I think most guys struggle with that. Most of us have that supermarket mentality. Prices are low, we're buying. Look at the tilt. You look at it on a day like today, right? If you guys don't know what this is, it's showing you the bias between top step traders that are long versus short. More guys are long than short. Look at the day, right? Why are we longing here? And it's been like this for a while. Like a lot of guys were getting long earlier in the day. This was heavy long bias in NASDAQ, NQ, back and forth. It flopped for a while. We got short. More guys were short. But as a whole, you'll see a lot of guys getting long as price is falling and a lot of guys struggling and getting cleaned out. You could take cheap trades, but you got to be ready to manage risk and take multiple losses on the way to that big risk to reward winner. So my view of the chart looks like a long is setting up right now. Yeah, it's not bad, man, right? Again, I'm saying all this while I am recognizing we're consolidating down here. A long might not be so bad. Again, it also depends on how you're trading, man. We trade in the 1 minute chart. We trade in the hourly chart. It completely depends on your approach. I'm watching this, right? We started to put these in. I'm watching this become a high that is breaking above this high. We've had a couple areas where you could say, hey, well, this high cracked above these, and maybe this high was cracking above these. So I'd wait for, again, a little bit more of a market structure shift, what I would define as market structure shift. There's definitions for that, so don't hate me there. But I'd like to wait for at least one or two of what I would look at as pretty important highs. This would be the first. This would be the second, right? We pushed down further. We pulled back up, didn't break above this, pushed down, put a fresh low in. This one we didn't put a fresh low in, a lower low in after pulling back up to this area. So I am paying attention to this one over here. Am I going to enter long as soon as we get up there? No. But there's certainly a long play down here. You're going to see the tilt shift. Look, it's almost there you go, 70% long. 7 out of 10 are long right now. Maybe they're getting long from down here. I'd say most guys that were longing all day were probably losing money. Maybe you're catching little bounces, but I'd be looking for more structure to trade off of, a cleaner way to structure risk. This is definitely the cheap trade, right? As you're hitting the lows, buying is the cheap trade. You don't have to have a really wide stop loss for it to tell you that you're wrong. So MACD bullish divergence on the 5-minute chart. The same MACD I've used to get my sell entry. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I don't trade MACD. No RSI, no indicators, no Bollinger Bands or money flow index or anything crazy for me. Again, still nothing crazy on Bookmap. We got some, let's see. I shouldn't say that. We got a little bit at 512. This looks like an important level to get through. This 510 above this high and then above this high. I want to see what happens as we get up here. Do we react to the downside and continue lower? Do we start to push through this and form some more bullish structure to the upside? If that's the case, I may start looking for a long. You could definitely get caught in a trap on days like this where we're just going to sell off. Looking for that buy, but I'm not going to try to buy the bottom here anywhere down here. I'm going to wait for structure to shift upwards or to pull up and then continue lower. So, but I think mainly the type of trade that I'm going to get is the one that I got earlier. I'd like to get in with 2 contracts, be pretty conservative on my first entry, take profit pretty early, get stop loss to break even, and not just get caught on the wrong side of larger market structure. This isn't huge, but it's decent for ES. and leave a runner on in the case that you get the direction right, and you can trail a stop and capitalize on a big move back up into the range. Let's get a New York VWAP on. If you guys got questions, ask them in the chat. If you are not in the free Discord, hop in the free Discord. I went over my trades from this morning in detail, plotted on the chart. If you missed that, feel free and go back and watch later on. These are all recorded. I don't delete my lives. I keep the ones where I win. I keep the ones where I lose. I keep the last couple, like yesterday and the day before, where I don't trade, where I don't get an entry. Let me get rid of Discord. Nice. Marcus, hop on the live, man, if you're not already. You on here, Marcus? Nice. Marcus running through books. Maybe that's why he's running up XFAs. Got a gentleman in. Hope you don't mind me saying your name on here. Got a gentleman in Discord that's absolutely killing it. Funded with TopStep, running up XFAs. He's taken 2 payouts already. I think he's like 6,000 in profit, something like that, on another one. Just said he finished his 3rd book this month. He's trying to do audio at the gym. That's what I recommend, man. I did it this morning. Bought right at the consolidation, break of the wedge. Cool. I'm assuming right down here you bought somewhere, Steven. So, no, good move, man. Again, my opinion is I'd like to be pretty tight on risk management on a day like today, but everybody can run it as they see fit. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Make sure you do your own research. You're responsible for your own trading decisions. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I'm just an idiot on YouTube. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You're probably going to lose money if you trade. There's disclaimer. Yeah, again, I want to see, do we break up past this level now that I see forming? Not crazy. Yeah, it's not that strong. It's hardly something I'd be paying attention to, but there is a little bit up here on the book, a little bit of resting orders. I want to see what happens when we get up here higher in this zone. Are we going to shift and start to continue? Might look for buys on the way up, try to play off this market structure. We'll see. I'd like to get some trading in today. I've had a couple of slower, smaller days. I like to trade combines fairly aggressively. I've toned it down a little bit with all of the experimenting and just recklessly blowing them, but I still would like to trade them fairly aggressively. Yeah, nothing crazy on Bookmap that's helping me out. This is going to be the wait and see. Do we start to shift structure to the upside here, or what I would consider, some bullish market structure and price action forming on the 1 minute? Maybe we can target one of these areas that we have on the board of liquidity. I think this would be a pretty solid one. It is above VWAP and New York session VWAP, so it would be a pretty aggressive target, but we'll just have to wait and see. But while we're waiting, I'll yap about what Marcus was talking about. I talk a lot on these lives because it's silent, guys, and I use this time if I'm not in a trade or talking about a trade that I'm taking to talk about everything else that goes into trading for me, being successful at trading, in my humble opinion. One of those things I believe is discipline. I'm building off of Marcus's comment about going to the gym and listening to an audiobook, because that's what I did this morning. I've been posting all of my training because I run quite a bit. I'm getting back into running and cycling quite a bit more after backing off a little bit. I'll talk to you guys in the future if I get a race on the board. But I went to the gym this morning, and I got about an hour workout in while I was listening to The Mental Game of Trading. which I was talking about with another gentleman yesterday. It's a good reminder. I wanted to re-listen to that one again. And then I went in the sauna, even though I was super tired, and I hit 20 minutes in the sauna, and it was exceptionally hot. You might say, oh, Zach, you're just bragging, or that's cool, man. David Goggins mode and, grind set, bro, or whatever. I'm sharing this stuff not because I'm super special or because I'm some superhuman athlete or I possess some smart ability. I'm sharing it because this is stuff that has allowed me to exercise discipline in my trading, not training, which has helped me massively. Building discipline in other areas of your life. Maybe it's just starting to go on a walk if you don't work out at all. Maybe food is an issue for you and you are trying to eat healthier. Maybe it's drugs and alcohol. Maybe it's just getting the right amount of sleep. Doing some hard stuff that you don't want to do, but you know it's the right thing to do. If you had to put up a sign and say, will this make me better in all areas of my life, or will this make me worse? And you start picking the hard sign that says this will make me better, building that discipline on a more consistent basis and building off that momentum is, I believe, massively powerful. We all have goals, right? If you ask everybody, do you have something you'd like to achieve? Is it becoming profitable in trading, getting funded, taking a payout from an XFA, trading a live account? Maybe it's something else. What can help you get towards that goal? Obviously, having a clear vision, believing in yourself, some of the other stuff that I talk about, but building discipline. When motivation runs out, when the excitement runs out, when the stuff gets really, really hard, what will keep you working is discipline. And if you build it in other areas of your life, it will transcend and overflow into all areas of your life. Part of that for me is working out, is exercising, right? Training pretty rigorously. Like I did not want to work out today. Also, I'm not perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect. You're going to fall off. I have days where I'm a lazy piece of crap. I don't do anything and I eat garbage. And, so like, don't think this is like, oh, I'm everyday hardcore. I hype myself up and I joke about it a little bit, but, just like in trading, you're going to have mistakes. You're going to get emotional. You're going to take a trade you're not supposed to take. You're not going to perceive the market the way that you should. But as a whole, if you start to try to make steps towards that, you can start to build discipline. If you are undisciplined, here's my humble opinion, in all other areas of your life, this is hard for some people, right? You are undisciplined when it comes to keeping your body healthy, your mind healthy, everything in your life. I don't have to give it every example. What makes you think you're going to be disciplined when money is on the line and you're on the 1 minute ES chart? What makes you think you're going to follow your risk management rule when you're not exercising and practicing discipline anywhere else? I don't think you stand so much of a chance. Another piece of this is the markets are, it's really like a negative sum game because the brokers are making out and, prop firms are making out, but it's a zero sum game, meaning you're trying to take money from somebody else. It's an exchange of wealth. Your competition is guys like me who are up early in the morning, listening to a psychology book, training, journaling before and after and during, journaling their trades, doing everything they can to maintain the best mindset and edge in the markets. That's who you're competing against. Along with that, guys that are, the suits, the guys that are hedge funds, professional institutions. You're trying to take money away from really, really smart people, not talking about myself, and driven retail traders. That's the game we're playing here, whether you want to believe it or not. So that should be a little bit of motivation, a little bit of a kick to get your ass in gear, because that's who you're up against. And again, look at my trading, man. I'm not taking, $100,000 payouts or anything I'm not taking any payouts right now. It's been a long journey to come from Forex to swapping to futures, starting to trade combines, figuring out how I was going to approach the US indices, everything, the risk management, then getting serious with it, getting funded, really trying to understand all the different nuances of a new platform. as a guy that's been doing it for a long period of time and putting that much effort in, like full time, right? This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I do. I do a whole lot outside of that, which is important as well. This outside of that is important as well. But think about that. Excuse me. Think about how much time and effort I'm dedicating, and where I'm at with it. So again, this is not to be the David Goggins grind set. You got to be doing hard shit every day, but a little bit, man. Think about building some discipline in other areas of your life. Here's what I'll leave it with. And this is not my words, this is, quotes. You know what to do. You know the hard work that needs to be done in trading, and you know the hard work that needs to be done in other areas of your life. Go and do that hard work. That's where the success is lying. That's where it is. In trading, it's in journaling, being real with yourself, identifying your emotions, writing out. I went on tilt today. I was angry. I got frustrated when I took a loss. I doubled up and I blew my combine. I did this 5 times in a row. Okay, now how can I start to understand when that happens? And how can I change that reaction? How can I start to self-regulate? Along with that, maybe it's getting your body in a little bit more shape. Maybe it's getting a good night's sleep. Maybe it's not, partying so you're hungover the day before you're waking up to trade. A number of different things. But again, there's areas there. Sorry for going on the long rant about it, but it's important, man. And Marcus, I don't think it's a surprise that the guy in my Discord community, which is free and growing, if you're not in there, hop in. 550 something, 60 something members. The guy that's making money he's way ahead of me right now as far as money in XFAs, and is pulling money out of XFAs, is the dude that's up going to the gym, listening to books. He's running through trading books on psychology. He's preparing on the weekends to trade. Take it as you will, but there's the example of it. So I do want to talk a little bit about discipline. I was going to write it in the psychology channel in my Discord right after I got out of the gym, but I was soaked in sweat. But yeah, man, it was a tough morning for me as far as being just not being motivated to go. I had some big meetings and stuff that I was talking about today, and I wanted to be prepared, and I wanted to exercise that discipline. I knew now not only am I going to get after it, I'm going to get after it twice as hard. I'm going to stay in the sauna another 10 minutes, even though it's twice as hot, till I'm almost passing out, to build that I can do this. I'm in control. I'm the master of my ship mindset that you need, that you can bring to other areas of your life, like trading. So that's what I got for you guys. Andre Thomas. So I'm still watching this, guys. I'm seeing the break up here. This is somewhat slow. I do see the shift to the upside. I do see orders on Bookmap. Again, still sitting at this level up here, 55.30 and 37. But I'm not looking for a long. I'm not looking to short this pullback. If anything, gun to my head, I think a short would be appropriate back down to these lows. But I don't have really clear reason to do that at this point. Now that we've started to slow, we're looking more of a consolidation, right? That we're back up around these highs and selling back off. If I was going to be taking shorts, I should have been doing it as we were breaking, continuing this downtrend structure. Do I want to short it right as we're breaking it? No. Could provide a cheap entry because we did pull back quite a bit. And, a pullback down to the lows I think is in store. But I'm not going to take this trade. So I'm going to keep talking with you guys. Got wrecked today. Absolutely destroyed because of no discipline. I feel you, man. I feel you. It's hard. Again, it's not something that you achieve. I'm not perfect. Nobody's going to be perfect, but you can start to make steps in the right direction, man. And in my humble opinion, discipline is a super important trait to have as a trader. It requires a lot of discipline to appropriately execute a system in the markets and to take losses and wins and keep your mindset straight. There's a big understanding piece and a psychology piece that I think can help. But then it also comes down to being disciplined. You could know all the right stuff, right? You could read all the books, but when it comes time to do it, even understanding it, you know, a lot of guys say that, like, I don't know why I did this. You know, I was being stupid. I did what I shouldn't have done. You know, that's common. Discipline is a big piece of that. So, no, have never tried Wyckoff. Nope, no sir. Never traded Wyckoff. Traded a lot of other random BS, but a lot of indicator stuff. But my favorite is raw price action and market structure. And now, this year, combining volume in the futures market along with order flow. Almost all the tools I have on my chart are volume tools, or they're horizontal levels. Objective, meaning they're market generated information like prior day high and low. That's the same on my chart as it is on your chart. Go to the daily chart, mark off the high and low. Objective levels and discretionary levels like that we're at right here. You wouldn't have been able to guess this as a support and resistance zone because I drew it out, and I have a consistent way of doing it, but it's discretionary. In my humble opinion, Wyckoff is needlessly complicated and extremely easy to get wrong. Sure, yeah, I don't know enough about it to comment on it. Appreciate you comment on it, Andre. Yeah, keeping things simple is important. It was a major step for me, searching for the Holy Grail in Forex, using a ton of indicators, trying to make things so complicated. I had this belief that it needed to be so complicated. It needed to be, there's no way that people were making this type of money unless they were, you know, doing these really complex, unique systems. Doesn't have to be that way, man. I watch guys regularly, including myself, make money in the markets, not utilizing all that. Utilizing some of your intuition and your discretion. Keeping your charts as simple as you possibly can so you are able to utilize your intuition and your discretion. Definitely having some risk management rules in there, applying some consistency to your trading, but there's no safety and security in making a really complicated system. It's just not there, in my humble opinion. So, if you guys got questions, feel free, ask them in the chat. We'll keep yapping while the market's kind of chopping around. Let me throw on here. This way I don't have to keep repeating this. Oh, get rid of that, get rid of that. Cool. Let's not X out of the stream. What's up, guys? We got more people hopping on. A lot of people that hopped on and hopped off, man. I must have been boring you guys. No, I notice the stream count goes up when I get in a trade, right? If I put a trade on right here, people that are scrolling by and clicking through, they stay. I get that, man. Everybody wants to see live trading. And I want to trade, but I don't want to take needless losses. This way, I don't have to repeat this 100 times as people are hopping on and off. Boom. Can you guys see this? No. Yes, maybe. Boom. Cool, cool. Zach, maybe you didn't see my message, or I'm not sending them. Yeah, man. Did I miss one in the chat, or did you send it in Discord, brother? I'll check Discord real quick. As we're chilling, watching the market. Yeah, I'm gonna hang for a while this afternoon, man. Got some trading in this morning. Had to cut it a little bit short. But I want to see what we get. now. Hey Zach, it's me again. Can you explain ticks and difference between minis and micros? Oh yeah, man. Did I? Let me see if I missed it. Just out of curiosity. Oh yeah, I did. I did see it. I'm sorry, man. I did miss it. It's on there. Yeah, man. So while we're waiting for this, let's go through just a little bit of kind of an overview of position sizing and risk management for my man that was in Discord that hopped on the live. I appreciate you being here. So when it comes to creating a risk management plan for your trading, part of it is deciding how much you're going to risk per trade. We're not going to discuss how much you should be risking relative to your account balance. We're just going to decide once you have that. We're just going to discuss once you have that down, how you would position size accordingly. Let me pull up my little chart. Boom. In ES and in futures, there's a tick value. The smallest movement in price levels between prices is a tick. So in the ES, it's a quarter of a point, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and 0, right? One whole point is one whole number. We understand that, right? The way that the ES is valued per tick is $12.50. One contract, one mini contract, is $12.50 per tick. So if you were trading the mini, it would be $50 per point, right? $12.50 times 4, $50. Okay, I got that right? I'm not that much of an idiot. So if you did some simple math, let's say we were going to take this trade, right? And we wanted to, let's say we were going to take this trade. And you say, hey, my risk at max is only going to be $250. We were talking about micros as well, so I'll do this in relation to micros. My risk can only be $250. I don't want to lose more than $250 on any one trade. When I put a trade on, that's my max amount of risk. You would be able to trade 5 points. If this was your entry right here, that would have to be your stop loss to be $250. We understand that, right? If I hit the measurement tool, which is available on TradingView and here using the shift key or clicking it over in the left-hand corner, you can see that 5 points is 20 ticks. This is ticks over here. Each tick, $12.50 times 20, or 50 times 5 is $250. We understand that, right? Let's say, let's say, hey, you know what? I want to enter here, but I need my stop loss down here. I need to have a 10-point stop loss for this to make sense for my strategy and my system. I'm supposed to be this many points away, whatever reason. You would need to be taking on, at minimum, $500 worth of risk because you can only trade one contract. You can't trade a fraction of a contract, different than futures and CFDs. Ask another question or tell me to slow down or repeat something if you're not following it so I don't go too fast. If you wanted to trade smaller size, you could trade micros. Micros are 1/10 of the value of the minis, meaning one tick in the micros is $1.25 as opposed to $12.50 in the mini. This varies across contracts. In NQ, the mini is a $5 contract, $5 per point. NQ also trades to the quarter of a point. Each tick is 1/4 of a point. That's the smallest price movement. In Dow, in YM, the E-mini is also a $5 contract, but you have to take into consideration that there is a one whole point movement. There's the one tick is one whole point. There's not a fraction of a point in Dow. So the scope of this varies between contracts. It's different for each individual instrument that you're trading. So you have to know the tick value, and then you have to know what one tick is. Is it a point? Is it a quarter of a point, etc.? And then you can value from there. You can position size from there. Again, let's say you were only wanted to take on $250 worth of risk, but you needed a stop loss way down here. You're not going to get that with with one mini. You would need to swap to micros to be able to size down less than $12.50 per tick, and you would just do your simple math using points or ticks to your stop loss quickly as your position sizing to put on the appropriate amount of risk. A lot of guys trade micros and they trade with a pretty standard stop loss size. Some of them, like me, are a little bit more discretionary with it, which I really don't recommend. I think you should be pretty structured with your risk management, and they'll either use dynamic risk management. They'll risk more on certain trades, less on certain trades based on where they are throughout the day with their P&L, or the type of trade it is for whatever reason. So there's a number of ways you can go about it. But as a whole, most guys, especially starting out, let's put it this way. If you're not funded or you're not profitable, you're not making money, you should have a solid risk management plan that includes, but is not limited to, because there's a lot of other stuff that goes in, the risk per trade, dollar amount max that you're putting on. Maybe you want to allow yourself the freedom to risk less than that, but you should have the dollar amount max. And if you do the math and you see what your average stop loss size is, you could decide whether or not minis or micros are going to be a better option for you. Let me know if this is making sense. Please, I don't know how to say your name, brother, but I did want to discuss that on the live and give you an example. Again, if I put a trade on here with one micro, right? This is going to be $250 worth of risk. This is going to be $300. Excuse me. This is going to be $350 worth of risk from this point. If that's too much for you with one mini, I think I just said micro, with one mini, you should consider dropping to micros. You can also have more flexibility with micros, scaling in and out of contracts. It's the same style chart. Almost everything is exactly the same. I don't want to make the conversation confusing. I will note volume data and other small discrepancies between micros and minis that have bothered me. But for this conversation and talking about position sizing and structuring risk, I hope you can understand that. Let me know if you can, please. It's making sense. I'm Alex. Nice to meet you. Cool, man. Yeah, no pressure, man. This gentleman asked a bunch of questions in Discord. This was a valid questions about position sizing. We were talking about micros and my average size and minis and that type of stuff. So it's better if you're visualizing it so you can understand. Does it help if I put a trade on? Because I'll take a trade just to show you it. One question: how can you change from micros to minis? It's just the actual contract. So you see over here, ES U24 is the mini contract. It just says S&P here. MES, excuse me, is the micro. See how it has micro? It's an entirely different chart. I mean, the chart is almost exactly the same as you could see here, but it's a different contract that you're trading as a whole. That's how you would switch from micros to minis. If you're on TradingView, same thing. You would need to open up the micro chart. If you're on your own broker, you would just be trading that contract. Again, it's worth noting, this is a little bit more advanced, but for guys that are listening, I wanted to switch back to ES micros. I have the same purchasing power with TopstepX. As I'm getting ready to maybe trade some XFAs, which I have locked up. I don't know that I love the way that the volume differs from contract to contract. VWAP is not in the exact same spot. There's some little nuances that I notice that are different. So I don't love that about it. It bothered me a little bit as I was messing with it earlier this week, or maybe it was last week, and I'm back to the mini. I'm going to have to make an executive decision whether I'm going to trade micros when it comes to the XFA, or I will just limit myself to minis because I'm so nuanced about that. But if any of you guys are in here listening, you trade micros, you trade minis, you notice anything when it comes to volume? The chart itself, highs and lows, just small discrepancies between the two. Like I'll give you the example here. Let's check it right now together since I'm just waiting. I scrolled all the way out because TopstepX kind of messes with VWAP if you don't scroll all the way out, which is a volume tool. This is volume weighted average price. I've got 55, 24, 48 as the current level for VWAP before the next candle prints. If we go to MES, so 55, 24, 48, right? Get rid of that. 55.26, 23. You know, that's enough to make a difference for me. So I don't love that. 55.26, 23. Let's go back. If there's a way to fix that, you know, or like there's some trick that I don't know about, let me know. I've also noticed, specifically around news, a couple of guys pointed it out to me. The actual highs and lows that print, the prices that print, have been different, a little bit different. So, you know, there's that. I'm in long on ES. Phil, 54.61. Cool. Take profit on 54.79. Yeah, man. This looks like it wants to pop, right? I don't want to be caught in the bull trap right here. Again, I don't see anything major on Bookmap. I really would like another level to trade from. Trade 2. 55.30 is still there, but it's even lightened up. There's less orders on it than there were before. So wait to see as we continue to push up, and maybe look for a long on a break and retest. Would give me a worse entry if we do continue to push, but I don't want to jump in too early here as volume has kind of died off and we're just starting to chop around. I don't love having a entry where I need a stop loss like this. I want to have some conviction that we are going to push. It does look like it. At very best, I'd come down here. I wouldn't even be for lows of the days. And, you know, I'd be putting on 500 or more bucks on one contract. So not a bad play though, right? Like, looks like we're bottoming. Looks like we're starting to stall here. We got what looks like it's going to be a higher low as we break above another set of highs here. We're testing this area multiple times. So we'll see. I think a pop back up to the VWAP, or maybe even to this 30s level is on the board. So just have to wait and see. Andre says, very small. Sometimes a candle won't have a wick on ES, but will have one on MES, something like that. Hate when I do bad in my XFAs and switch to practice account and trade perfectly. Yeah, me too, man, and everybody else on here, right? But try to like think about that and understand it. Andre says, hate it when I do bad in my XFAs and switch to practice account and trade perfectly. Now, obviously, you know, you just might have needed to take a loss today, and when you switched over, that was the time where the market was going to start agreeing with you. But for the most part, most guys trade really, really well on demo. They paper trade and back test really well. And when it comes to live trading, it's a whole different story. The reason behind that is managing risk, having skin in the game. Your emotions and your ability to trade effectively are much different when there's real money on the line. And it's a continual level, right? Because maybe you come from paper trading and you're a smart person and you risk a very, very small amount of money, or you get into the lowest, cheapest combine and with one and you start there. Maybe you do okay there. As you start to scale up, as you increase that risk 2 and 3 and 10 and 20 times whatever you started with, again, that comes into play. It's a whole new level. So, yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. But that's what trading is. You know, it's managing risk, being able to understand probabilities, have confidence in your system, and have discipline and conviction, and be able to trade it effectively. You know, through wins, through losses, all that good stuff. Not easy, man. Not easy for me or for anybody else. You get to a point where it gets easier, I would say. It becomes, you start to understand that the mistakes that you're making, if you make so many of them over and over again, they don't work. It becomes less appealing to trade on tilt, to manage your trades incorrectly, to hold losers and all the way to your stop loss or farther, because you see it not work out so many times. But it's always still there, in my humble opinion. You don't want to try to get rid of all the emotions and the bad thoughts. You just want to try to create new reactions to them. You want to be very self-aware and then self-regulate. Say, oh, I'm feeling greedy or I'm feeling hopeful. Is that the right way that I should be feeling? Or let me acknowledge that I'm feeling this way and then create a different response to that feeling by continuing to trade effectively. So easier said than done. There's some practices and exercises you could do to help. I would first start with the understanding of it all, which would be, reading a couple really good books like Best Loser Wins by Tom Hogard, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, and The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. Let me get it right. That's the one I've read least. I think it's Jared Tendler. Survey says Tendler. Yep, with a D. Great book. Really awesome book. Highly recommend you read all 3 of those. Probably more than once if you're like me. But if you're still on here, man, I appreciate you guys being here. If you got questions, ask them in the chat. Feel free. Link to my free Discord. As you guys know, I don't have to plug that, right? Because I got it up here. You get my analysis. You get my strategy. You get all that fun stuff. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I have an outlet for that. You could book a free call, 30-minute call to talk to me. It is a paid program. Hours and hours and hours spent developing you into the trader that you want to be. That's what I do in that one-on-one program. I was using the Trade08 app and it crashed on me switching to PC. That sucks, bro. Yeah, I've heard more and more people complain about Trade08. Again, my experience wasn't terrible when I was using them when I first was coming over, but I've heard a lot of people complain about them. I will say that. Yeah, man. Nate in my Discord says Trade08 has confirmed market data issues affecting traders throughout last week have been resolved. Oh, this is from TopStep. I'll talk about that later. I'll check that out. Yeah, see, not following through on this push to the upside, all the way back down. I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I want to be on here and be in front of the screen if we start to push one way or the other. We start to break out lower. I think we could see this afternoon dump, big price action to the downside. And if we start to come higher, same thing. I think we could see buyers step in and we could pull one of these classic, sell off all day and then run back into the range. Maybe the staircase up and the elevator down, meaning the sell-off is really much more aggressive than the buy. But I would like to get on the right side of it if at all possible. So I'm going to hang with you guys probably for a while here, man. I'm not looking to get off just yet. So if you guys got questions, feel free to ask. Right now, my gut is on that supermarket mentality where I'm looking to see what happens if we come back up and start breaking these highs like this 510 level, 5510. Ooh, I like that. So we'll just have to wait and see, man. That's where I'm at right now. Not ready for a short, not ready for a long. I think it can go either way from here. Would like to a way to structure risk and find a solid entry. Again, not relying on Bookmap, but would love to have something to trade to or from on Bookmap. Let's take a look at that together. This is Bookmap, my new favorite order flow tool, the crazy colored Predator trading tool. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger where the monster has like heat vision, but it's the first thing that I thought of when I saw Bookmap. Looks intimidating, but it's not. In my humble opinion, it's easy to use, easy to interpret, I should say. Applying it to trading decisions in an effective way, that's out for debate. So here's that 55.30, right? If I'm way zoomed out, like 30 points above price, like this is a pretty big move. And then you've got much more up here. You could see 30 kind of come on and off the book, right? You could see it lighten up right here. This is what I was talking about. It was on a little bit heavier back here. But we definitely got some resting orders sitting up there. This is showing me actual orders. This is the order book for ES. This is showing the price level and the volume, the quantity of orders resting at each price level on the bid and the offer. If we had something really, really lit up or starting to light up above or below, especially if we got some movement rolling and it lined up with market structure, would give me a little bit more of a target to trade to and from, or maybe say, hey, you want to watch out if you're going to take a buy and we've got a boatload of liquidity sitting down, and your stop losses before that, can be used that way. So, but yeah, I'm going to wait to see. We start to push up. Here's what I got for a little bit of an indication that we may come up here to that liquidity, but this is pretty far away. And it's not an insane amount, right? It's not like lit up bright red. We don't have a massive amount on the book, at least for the way that I read it. A little bit sitting up here. I don't pay attention to this stuff. This is what I've heard described as like just this algorithmic liquidity. You can see this come right off the book. You can see everything come off the book almost right ahead of news. It's kind of spooky to watch. Like the first time, I was like, I wonder why it's like all dark now. All the liquidity went away. Like 60 seconds before news, it all dies out, and then it comes back on maybe within a couple minutes after. But this kind of shuts right off. I think they turned the algorithms off. But yeah, you don't pay attention to this, or I don't really pay attention too much to this. I'm looking more zoomed out. You could just get super zoomed in, like this. Maybe as we're approaching a level, I get really zoomed in like this. But I like to have a pretty broad view of it, a pretty wide scope of the order book, and take a look and see above and below price, maybe like 10, 20 points if we're moving in the direction and we've got an area of liquidity. I'm paying attention to that for an area of interest. A lot of times it does line up on my chart with a horizontal level, another area that I have marked up. Maybe it's, a pre-market high or low, prior day high or low, it's above or below a high. Maybe it's not, a lot of times it hasn't been, and there's been reactions at those levels. So it's been really cool. I don't think it's hurt me. I, in fact, think it's helped me quite a bit. But like I said before, I'm early on using this. I'm not the order flow expert by any means. I have a lot to learn with it and a lot of time to spend on it before you get really well versed at reading it, just like trading in general. All the way back down, kind of just chopping around. Yeah. Again, you guys got questions, feel free, ask them in the chat. We're hanging out. I got no trade right here. I'm not trying to trade this range. Just kind of going to wait and see here. Going to wait and see. Going to try to get a trade in, man. Again, I don't know. I was anxious to start this live. Honestly, we were coming down into this. And I thought, you know what, man? This is kind of the pivotal point. We're starting to slow. Maybe we see some aggressive buying step in or some selling pick back up. We haven't really gotten that. We've just got this back and forth movement. Maybe power hour is going to be the better play. But again, I missed some of my morning session. So I'm going to trade a little bit longer into the afternoon here. But if you're here, I appreciate you being here with me. It'll be a longer live. Try to get some trading in. Oh man, I'm trying to respond to a couple guys in Discord real quick. Again, you got questions? Feel free to ask them here. Ask them in Discord. That's why I'm here, man. You guys got me to talk. If I'm not in a trade or I'm not getting ready for something to set up, I don't mind answering trading questions. Try to help you guys out the best I can. Let's see if we break this level, guys. That's what I'm waiting for. Waiting to see if we come down and break this. All right, man. Let's keep it rolling here. Have a great day, Zach. Go to sleep for me. It's 9 p.m. Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, it is 2 p.m. Eastern here on the East Coast. We're in that New York time zone, man. Let's see. We got a couple guys. I'll answer some questions for Discord with you guys. Can you copy trade XFAs on TopstepX and TradeOvate, or did they all have to be TopstepX or TradeOvate? I don't know. But I'd assume it would have to. Or the other, because TSX's trade copier. Noise. Respond to this one. Someone had issues. If you guys got questions, if you're having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. That's what I keep thinking that Jay-Z song, 99 Problems. If you guys got questions, ask them in the chat. Again, no trade right now, man. I'm not going to take the break out of this. This was looking like we might start to shift. It doesn't look that way right now. It looks like consolidating, rangy. I'm going to wait to see what happens. Do we crack below this low? You know, do we start to fall and sell off aggressively? If we do, maybe I look for a sell down to this next level. I'm kind of just in wait and see mode, but again, I'm not really sweating anything just yet until I start to see some reaction back up to the upside, or we break through and we get some volume down to the downside. That's quite a bit of volume being traded right there, actually. That's quite a bit of volume being traded there. So this will be interesting to see if this breaks here, rather than the reaction that's looking likely right now with buyers stepping in on this candle. You could even see it down here on the traditional volume. Yeah, man. If you're hanging out with me, I appreciate you. We got a handful of you guys hanging out. Again, no trade right now. Got a lot of people that hopped on and off. Just waiting to see if we get some movement, man. I don't like to start and stop alive. I'm gonna hang out on this one. Going on hour and 20. That's not even that long. We've ran them longer than this. Just staying patient, man. Looking for that nice setup. I think there's some opportunity to be had here after a big move like that. Sometimes the market just consolidates like this and it's choppy and, you know, it's not great. We got a couple hours left in the trading day, and I believe there's potential for that not to happen and for price to start to push to the upside back towards that range or break out to the downside. We are down at these lows again. Cheap trade if you want to trade the bottom of this range. Throw a stop loss, you know, down below here. If it breaks, you're out, and, you know, trade back up into just into this zone. I don't love it, so I'm not going to take it, but I'm going to hang out and wait and see. I think if we break down, man, we might see some volume. Or again, if buyers step in, I'll take it either way. So we're going to chill. We're going to wait and chill. We're just going to wait and see, boys. But if you guys got questions, feel free, ask them in the chat. If you're not in Discord, hop in Discord, man. If you like the stream, like, subscribe, help me out. You don't have to do anything. Free means free, but helps me out if you do that. Helps me try to figure out this YouTube and social media algorithm that nobody can ever seem to crack. Still nothing really on Bookmap. Some stuff, again, still back up around 510. Along to that could be a play. Something like this. Again, how much room do you want to leave down here? You know, do you want it to bounce right from this level? Do you want to allow it to break a little bit? Maybe something along those lines. Wouldn't be a nightmarish play. Maybe just targeting these highs, targeting the middle of the zone. You know, we get a break down and then a break back up above this. That could be a stronger case for a bullish play. But right now, it's kind of just trading this range where you'd be taking the cheap buy, looking for the long. Let's see what NQ is looking like. Not that I really pay attention to both of them at the same time. NQ is looking weaker. NQ is looking a little bit weaker. Oh, not really. Not really. We came down, and we've kind of formed the same thing here. Yeah, this isn't bad for a long play. Not looking terrible for a long, guys. No wick to the downside on this candle, so I'd kind of see how the next one forms, but this doesn't look terrible if you wanted to trade right off the bottom of this. Again, cheap trade. You wouldn't have to get a stop loss far below lows of the day to tell you you're wrong if ES is going to come and put a fresh low in. But you could take the bounce right up to the top of this area. Yeah, we had quite a bit of volume traded down here, man, and now buyers taking it higher. I'm gonna wait to see what happens here. But I almost like this for a cheap long. Probably wouldn't go in super heavy with it, but I don't mind this for a cheap long. Even if it's just gonna come back up into the zone or push up and then come down, it would give me a chance to manage it. Going for the cheap long right now. Yeah. Again, you know, a lot of guys, their play is, you know, cheap trades, really aggressive entries with a high risk to reward. You know, you're going to collect significantly more when you win than you lose when you lose. So you're okay taking, you know, multiple losses on the way to those winners. I haven't really been operating that way. It's not typically the way that I operate. If I am taking an aggressive trade, it usually is a more positive risk to reward. But I like to give my trades room to breathe. I don't really love being stopped out. And then the trade continuing in the direction that I was trading. Slow, choppy movement, man. Really slow, choppy movement. Yeah, we got orders kind of getting heavier at 510. Just I don't want to be on the. It's again not a bad trade. We got consolidation. We're stalling here. If sellers were going to take it through, come on and do it already. So you got the case being made from price action and market structure that maybe we're going to see a bounce again, kind of just this big choppy price action that could provide some trading opportunity. But I just don't like being on the wrong side of this if the bottom's getting ready to fall out. Where are we at here? Hmm. Yeah, 510 doesn't look bad on Bookmap. Again, trying to just hold to wait to see if the bottom's going to fall out of this thing. And if not, look for a quick long to the upside here. Doesn't look like it is yet. We broke down below this. We had a little break and retest. I was going to see if this was just going to continue to trail lower, but I don't think so. This is pretty tough off the low of this range after a really downtrending day, but I think I'm going to go for it. Take a long towards that 510 level. Start with one contract. There's some buyers stepping in.
Order filled.
Going to try the long here, guys. Let's go ahead and get just about $312 for now. I like this this 512 level. You know what? Let me do this. We are in a long, people. Buying on the momentum, like I was talking about before. Worse entry than could have been right down here. A little bit more risk, but there are orders sitting up here. Not nearly as much as I would like as I zoomed closer in. Yeah, really like 508. It's actually at these highs. That's what I'm looking at. 508.25 I think would be very safe. That looks like where it's at. Again, not a ton, but let's see if we can get a pop back up there. One contract in pretty light. Still green on the day. This needs to come down and put a lower low in. The bottom falls out, and again, we start to come lower. I'm going to look for a short. But buying into momentum, cracking above this high, seeing if we can get the continuation higher. We come down all the way back down to these lows and crack below. I think there's much less likelihood of this playing out, but we got to trade. Again, utilizing some market structure, some price action, counter trend for the whole day, right? So we've been down all day, and now we're kind of just ranging. Looking like we got some liquidity on the book that price might want to go up and grab, no matter what it's going to do next. That's the closest area that I could spot of a little bit of orders on the book. So I'm going to trade towards it today. See what we can get out of this one. I might even look to scale into this if we continue up here. But we're going to trade. We'll take a win. We'll take a loss. We'll keep the show rolling. But we got some action, people. We're in. We're in the markets. I would actually almost like a little bit of a wick down, maybe not breaking these lows, or this would really, not look great for us. But if we got a little something like that and then a continuation even further, again, not expecting that on my entry based on the momentum pushing up. Didn't quite get that. That's why we run a stop loss nice and wide enough to handle some of a pullback. I don't know that that's likely if we're not just going to continue from here. Otherwise, it'd be waiting. But I want to see if we can continue on this one, or if indeed we're just going to sell back off here. That doesn't look good. ES chopping. Sorry, guys. I mean to make you dizzy here. Just zoom it out a little bit. While still trying to keep that in view. All the way back down to the lows. That doesn't look good. Order still in the book at 510. Let's see if we get that crack below and then a continuation up. Or if I have to take the stop out and I bought the high of that small movement there. Again, not going to cut this. I'll let this one come all the way down and stop me out if it has to. If it breaks this low, I think it's very likely to. Like it's going to happen right now. But we will let our trade play out. We'll give it a little bit of room to breathe. And we'll take our losses in stride, right? We got to put risk on in the market. We accept the risk that we put on. And we let the probabilities play out. Ooh, we got some volume behind that one too. That really doesn't look good. This might break pretty aggressively, in which case I'm going to be looking for a short after this if we break down and get stopped here, guys. No wick to the downside on this candle. I don't love that. I don't love that. But I'm going to leave this one on for now. Yep, that looks like the stop. That's the crack below the low. There's some volume behind that one too. Not going to duck out just yet. I don't know, unless it just keeps me in. Leave my stop where it is.
Order filled.
That's the stop. And yeah, we got some volume behind that one, man, for sure. That's a break below the low. Let's see if we get some more structure to the downside. New lows for ES. That cheap long did not play. You can see the volume even on the traditional candlestick right here. Excuse me, the traditional volume down here on the bottom. Let's see. Watching Bookmap to see what we get. Still BS at 510. I think this is going to move lower. That's my shift in bias right there. I'm going to leave these on for you guys, but I'm going to wait to see if this starts to continue. We get a little break and retest. I'm going to try this short. Let's see what we get. Don't really want to short the lows of the days, but I'll take the continuation of this market structure to the downside. That was pretty aggressive. Again, some volume behind it. I like to see that for for some conviction that this is going to follow through. The floor might absolutely fall out on this, guys. Kind of looks like what's happening. Okay, now we got orders on the book at right below price. So let's see what happens if we get down to like 89. We start pushing through that. I think we're going to go. We react and come up. Might be in for a different story. I'll show you guys order Bookmap after this, but I'm watching for a short. Yeah, this might just eat this up. This might be the waterfall down, guys. The elevator down. Don't have a great way to structure risk. If we got a quick retest of some area and then a continuation, it would give me a really nice way to structure it. I don't know that we're going to get it. Could it also just as easily be the fake out and just come all the way back up into the range? And my long trade been paying had I had a huge stop on it, but I don't think that's the case right here. At least not what I'm looking for. Again, guys, just watching Bookmap, watching the market for a short here. Not following through just yet. This could just be a pullback up to these lows that we tested so many times before a continuation lower. Just going to be patient for a moment here. But we turn and start pushing down. I'm going to try to sell into that momentum and capture a bit of it. Pulling back up so far, so I don't want to hammer it just yet. Again, this could just be the fake out, take everybody out that was getting long down here, and now we're going to continue higher. We start to push much higher, past these highs, approaching this. I might look for the long again, but not just yet. Broke the lows, put the low of the day in. There was not, at least showing on order book, on Bookmap, not a whole bunch of liquidity or anything that it needed to come down here and grab. Just that volume traded, breaking through the lows. Sellers took it lower. Let's see what we get from here. This would be your aggressive entry on the retest. Yeah, I'm going to wait on this one, guys. Just going to wait a minute. The short looks like it. Again, here would have been the aggressive entry right as we were retesting these lows. That would have been a pretty good spot so far, but I don't know about this one. Intuition's kicking in a little bit. If this is going to continue lower, it's not doing so with an enormous amount of force right now. It'll probably give me a chance to jump in, and I'll do so lower, but there's a chance that this just runs all the way back up. This was the take Zach out of his trade, and now we're going to continue back up to VWAP and maybe these areas of liquidity up here and trade back into the range like I was halfway expecting. So I'm going to wait and see. We're going to chill and see. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I like the short. I'd like to be short, but stop above this high doesn't give it much room. Stop above here is a little bit wide for me. If this is going to continue, just a slow trail to the downside now would be a pretty good spot for entry. Yeah, this looks pretty good.
Order filled.
I'm trying it short, guys. If I got to get hit both ways, I will. That's wide. I don't love that. That's pretty tight for me, but if we were going to come all the way back up here, do I still want to be short? Probably. Yeah, guys, I think I'm going to start here and manage this one if it does need to come all the way back up. I'm going to start pretty damn wide. We continue lower. I might scale into another position and bring this one down. I'll make an executive decision if we come all the way back up here, whether I want to hold this to the stop. Again, I like this one short, broke the low. Here was a quick pull back up, retest, and continuation down, selling into selling pressure. There's some volume behind it. Did die off a little bit. Oh, man. It might play tough with me. Again, if we're going to continue lower, which it looks like today, right? We're breaking out of that range, starting to push lower, a little bit of a break and retest. I want to be short on it with a stop loss somewhere up there into the zone. Didn't sell the breakout, waited for a little bit of a break and retest. I like the way the 5-minute candle looked as well. Order flow, nothing crazy showing, again, except for that stuff all the way up above these highs. But I'm looking for now this to be a continuation lower. That's what I'd like to see. We had our chance to push higher all day as we were down in the zone, and we're still putting lower lows in. So I'm taking the tough trade, or what I feel is always the tough trade, and selling down low, seeing if we can't get a continuation. Again, I'm going to start with this one pretty damn wide, with the intent to potentially manage if it gives me an opportunity to, right? Price can just blast to my stop loss. If we come up here, I'm going to see what price action looks like. If we continue lower, I'm going to try to scale into this one. So starting with one contract, risking now turning a winning day into a losing day, but that's part of trading. Again, just staring at order flow, staring at book map. It's not giving me too much. Choppy ass price action, man. We shall see. We're short. Second trade. We'll see how this one plays for us. Nice. Someone says jumped in at the same time. Yeah, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. Accept your risk. Decide when you feel is appropriate to put risk onto the market. Stay patient through all of this. I don't like to trade inside of what I identify as kind of a zone or chopping. If we were going to get pulled higher, here was some opportunity to do so. Looked like we were going to make a run higher after retesting these lows and not breaking below. Bought into that buying pressure. That failed. Sellers took it lower with some force. We're not seeing a ton of follow through, but this looks like it could be that trend lower. I don't see, again, massive stuff on Bookmap that's working for or against me on this one. So entry was over here after we pulled back, broke the low, right? Broke all these lows, pulled back, and then started to continue down, sold into that selling pressure, immediately started to react there. Let's see if we can get a continuation, but that's why you run a tight stop loss and not just a 5-tick stop loss to allow for some kind of pullback. Again, we start to bottom out here and crawl higher. I might duck out of this one and just take a smaller loss than the 500 if it gives me an opportunity to. Sometimes it just rockets up. Discretionary, so I can't tell you exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for that to start to happen and then make a decision there. I may very well let this run all the way to the stop. That's why my initial stop is there. So if we came all the way back up, do I think we're going to sell all the way back off? Potential, but not in the time frame that I'm trading here. So we shall see. It's in the hands of the market now. No, it's in our hands to control risk and manage the trade. That's what we want to remember. Can we break this low? Can we see selling continue? Can we break below this low? Check this out, guys. I'm going to sell into this. I'm scaling in, and I'm going to maintain the same amount of risk, just slightly higher amount of risk. Sell into the selling pressure, volume picking up a little bit on that one. Looking for a break of this low. I won't have to have as wide of a target if I'm in much heavier. If this is going to continue, I want to see continue here. My new invalidation level is right up here. We come up above this high. I'm not surviving it. This was the break and retest. Here's the continuation down. Seller's got to take it lower on this one. If not, I'm out for $550. That's the play that I'm taking on this one. Don't have a clear target. Would like to scale out, maybe based on price action and market structure. If we start to break, again, we come back up, take me out for $550. I will call it a day. But that's adding to my trade in profit. As we're pushing down on selling pressure again, not waiting for the break. Again, I feel if this is going to break, we might see some force behind it. That's not going to give me an opportunity to add. Really maintaining my risk, 50 bucks more than the 500 I had on. Tighter invalidation point, but more opportunity for gain if we're going to continue. Doesn't look like it so far. Looks like we're stalling here. That was looking pretty good. Again, just reading price action. But price action does not have to do whatever I think it's going to do. And I'm certainly not reading price action all the time. So we'll wait and see. But scaled in, 2 contracts, adding to the winner, controlling risk. Is the way that I like to trade. We get the sell-off here, man. Could be in for a nice win. I like the opportunity, right? Like, we've had this gnarly down day. We're breaking lows. We're coming down to retest it. I like the opportunity for this thing to continue lower. Doing my best to sell into that selling pressure, but this might need to come and take me out, which it looks like it's going to do. Push back up before breaking the lows. Do we need to wick all the way up here, take this high out again? You know, I'm out if we do. It's just too big of price action for me. Let's see it, sellers. Let's see it step in. I don't like this no wick to the upside on both of these. I do like that we're coming back down. We push back up here. That could be looking tough for this trade, and I might want to clip it. Let's see it, ES. Let's see what we got from ES today. Again, a lot of upside potential in this one. You know, there's risk on for sure. The wick up is a potential. Just the continuation back up into the zone is a potential. We break lower. I don't need to catch the entire move to turn this into a nice trade, but it's struggling. We're definitely finding a little bit of support here. Buyers holding this level. We did not break the low on this move down. We've since pushed back up. $2:39 p.m. Eastern. Coming into that power hour where we start to get some reports coming out. Let's see, sellers. Here's your chance. Let's see if we can do it. Again, nothing screaming at me on the book. But in another trade, let's see how this one plays. As promised, excuse me, guys, you'll get the wins, the losses, the win streaks, the losing streaks. You'll get it all live here with me. I'll show you how I trade. Stayed patient all this time. took the L, flipped short. You know, this looks like it could play, but I don't like that we're not moving just yet. Let's look at the 5-minute chart. I like to do that every once in a while for some frame of reference. Yeah, 5 minutes still looks good too, but I won't survive much of the wick back up if we need to come back into this zone. But to be honest, I don't want to be in if we come up here. That's not my trade idea. Coming back down, back at entry, back and forth. Let's get VWAP moving. Can we break the low with some force? There we go. Let's see what we got. There we go. I'm not going stop loss to break even on this yet, guys. I want to see this thing continue. This is what I waited for. I'm going to look to scale out of 1 if we get some nice push to the downside. But again, the point of this trade is to pick up, to put on $550 of risk again, is to pick up a pretty nice winner on this. So, we got $200 showing. That could get me closer to being whole. I gave back a little bit more on the last one, but that's not what I'm going for yet. I think a retest is potential of this area also, so I don't want to go stop loss to break even yet. Ooh, there we go. There we go. I'm holding on to this one for now. There we go, boys. Stop loss to break even. Getting ready to scale out of 1. Oh, I'm hanging on to this one. Yeah, what do we got down here, guys, on order flow? Nothing crazy. I think this thing can go. Here's the waterfall. I'm going to hang on to this for a little bit, guys. This might come all the way back up to stop me out. That's cool. I'll deal with the never let a winner turn into a loser, boys, later. Let's see it. 625 showing. Again, could close it all right now, make me whole. That's not just what I'm going for yet. Would love to see a crack lower. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. There we go. Struggling to move a little bit lower on this one, man. I'm going to give it just a little bit longer. I'd rather take 1 off as we're on the way back up than miss the opportunity of this thing pushing a whole lot lower. Nothing crazy happening on order flow that's telling me you better get out now. 625. Let's look at. Here's the tough part, man. This is trade management. I'm just going to scroll out to see what we got looking left. Oh, yeah, we got room. We got room, guys. Does it have to come back up and retest this level? The more we hang out here, the more I think it might. 7, let's see. 85s.
Order filled.
I'm taking 1 off there, guys. I don't like how that last candle struggled to move lower. I don't want to let the entire thing come back to stop me at break even. That brings me pretty much back to where I was, securing, I don't know what I had on before, maybe $300. Let's see if this thing can push before it comes all the way back up here. If it does come all the way back up here and stop me, I'm going to wait to see what happens and potentially look for re-entry, because that is some selling pressure for sure. But we got volume, we got buyers stepping back in to bring this thing back up higher. again, my next target is pretty damn far, so I want to see. Again, that one made it past a 1-to-1, right? $550 of risk on at the most. It was like 700 plus showing. That's cool. You could take those winners and just call it a day. But we got opportunity on this one, and I got in with 2 for a reason, so I could let 1 run. I do like making it risk-free, but I will, I'll let this turn into just a break-even session in the pursuit of this dump that we could be seeing here towards the end of the day, right? Like we're coming down. Flipping short was the move. Broke the low again with some force this time. This is looking okay. So we're coming down to challenge this low again. I don't like no wick to the upside on candles that aren't in the direction that I'm trading. That's not great, but in this instance, we're just gonna have to see what happens. But we got a wiener, boys. Wiener, chicken dinner. I don't love this hesitation. Book map. Yeah, I got to hold this one for now, guys. I got to. This is either going to be the winner or the stop out up here. But I got to hold this. Hesitating, so much hesitation here, but I feel the break can be solid. I'm risk-free. Again, you manage your trades how you see fit. And, and every day you're not going to be able to manage perfectly. But here we go. Here's a nice break to the downside. I'm going to see if this continues. I wouldn't want to continue being short if we were back up above these highs. So I'm going to come down like that. I don't want to smother it, but I don't know that I want to let it come all the way back up here. I wouldn't. I'm going to go like that. Stop. I'm going to trail the stop loss fairly tight on this one. If this thing's going to dump, I'm going to let it dump for a little bit further and then catch the rest of it. Oh, we got orders on the book at 47. 47. Let's go with a target. 80, 74 I started to see here. $74. Yeah, it's pretty steep. I don't know about that. 74. 73. A quarter. Yeah, we got just a little bit down there. I don't know if that's gonna pay. I'm gonna go stop loss right here, guys. If it wants to come back up, yeah, just gonna trail the stop loss nice and tight. I'll let it do its thing. We're finding some struggle to move lower after these 2 candles. There's a break below. Nice. Let's see it. ES. It doesn't look great. Oh, that's lighting up 70. 74 and a quarter. Let's go, ES. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Let's watch Bookmap. I just want to see if these start to come off the book at all. Don't know that we're going to hit that before we wick back up, guys. But I'm going to hold this one. I'm going to hold this bad boy. I'm not going to go over a profit target, am I? 1,500 minus... No. That's a dumb question to ask. Are they still there? Yeah. Big volume. I don't like that. Let's go, sellers. Lock it in. Lock it in, sellers. Debating whether I want to trail my stop even further down. Ooh. Big volume coming in there. Didn't quite take me out just yet. Getting a little bit tighter on the stop. Are those orders lightening up? Using Bookmap to decide if I want to hold this all the way to that, not initial target, but the target that I'm placing from Bookmap, or if I want to close it out and lock up an extra $100. Yeah, I need this to push. If we come back up through here, I'll lock in 500 on the remainder. I need this to push down now on this candle. That was its long wick to the upside to continue. You know, we're talking about $87 in the pursuit of turning 500 into 850. So I'll let that go. Get stopped on the trail down. So that's still there, man. I think we're coming down to 73. I really do. I just don't know. I don't think I'm going to make it with this stop, but I don't want to let it come all the way back up. Not necessary to do, in my humble opinion, my trade management.
Order filled.
Taking it right there, guys. 895 on the day. That was a beauty. That was a beauty. I'm happy with that one. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. That's actually lightening up right now, which was part of me closing it. Here was the orders that started to come on at 54.73. 54. Thanks, brother. 54.74. Right here on Bookmap that I was trading towards. As you could see, we're pulling up away from that, and those orders are coming off right now. The close was partially to see that this was not that strong, and I don't know that we were going to come all the way down before we start to pull back, and partially just because of price action, right? I'm going to trail the stop nice and tight. I don't want to see bars trade above prior bars, but that was utilizing Bookmap on this one. So also, again, seeing some volume traded, the way that volume picks up as we come through these levels, definitely helpful. But let's map these two bad boys so I could journal them. Yeah, here's the wick up, push back. I secured a little bit more than the stop loss that I was trailing, somewhere down here. But that was a pretty nice trade. I like the way that was managed. I'm happy that I scaled in when I did. That worked out nice. Steven, Zach, when you have time, please send the link for your one-on-one. Guys, if you want to work with me one-on-one, listen, not every day is a winner, right? That could have been a loser, and maybe you're not saying I want to work with Zach one-on-one, but have realistic expectations. We're $1,100 away from passing this account. Cool. If you want to work with me one-on-one, book a call to talk to me in Discord. Who am I talking to here? Took the trade with you. Win. Oh, Steven, what's up, brother? Yeah, I sent it to an email, man. Just let me know if I know we're talking on live here, but did you get it in email while I map these out? I sent the link to move forward with everything in email yesterday, right after you sent it. Just let me know if you got that or not. So here was, let's go through both these trades real quick, and then we will wrap this 2 hour and 15-minute session up. Guys, I'll tell you this. That gets pretty straining, at least for me, right? The way that I trade, actively managing my trades, it's not stressful. I'm not worried that I got to bottom tick the market, but I am trying to make decisions to the best of my abilities all the way through that trade. So once I get in, you start to see me go like this, that, back and forth, because I'm paying attention to as much information as I can, processing it, and then trying to manage it in the best way that I see fit. So it gets tiring, man. The longer that trades go on, or even staying patient and deciding when to enter, it gets straining. I'm not saying it's hard, like there's guys out there working construction and stuff, but it definitely gets fatiguing, and you could start to make crappy decisions. But so let's map the loss first. Again, this was from earlier. Here was the trade down on TopstepX. It gives you your trade report. Here is today. We entered at 2:13 p.m. Eastern. 2:13. I got long here. My entry was at 55.25. Look at that trash of an entry. No, that's how it happens. I can't tell you what I can tell you what my stop loss is because it shows the exit. 54.94. Boom. Was targeting something way up here, shooting for something like this or like this. That was initial loss. This was negative $312.50. Let's mark long, one con. Day, buying into momentum. I probably spelled that wrong. Yep. And book map for target. Boom. This was loss number 1, okay, guys? If you were on the live stream. If you want to see what my trades were for the morning, feel free to go back. I mapped them out. We got short right here. 54, 92, 91.25 at, was it this time? 30, sorry, guys, 29. No, over here. Over here. There we go. Sorry, I know this is a little bit slow, but it's important for me to have on there so we could talk about what the hell happened. Right? Okay, so this is what we started with. Exit was... not a bad exit. 80.5. So here's what happened, right? We scaled in... The second one, 92.25 at 29. How is this possible? I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me for a second so I can map this out so we could have accurate information here. This stuff's important. Is that 29? Oh, I'm sorry. This was this was the first entry at 92. 0.25. Oh man. Hand is cramping up. So initial entry was here. God, guys, I'm sorry. I'm stroking out here. Okay. Initial entry was here. Follow-up entry was here. Initial stop was up here, and it was $500 worth of risk on one contract, right? 10 points. Brought that stop loss down here and added in about 5 minutes into the trade, right? First close was 86.50 right there. Second close was right down here. Boom. Reasons for the trade. Stop loss to break even somewhere down here as we broke. You guys would have to go back down and see. Reasons for the trade, right? Was looking for the long. Oh, excuse me. Let me do this too. Last piece, and I'll just do the price. 537.50 plus 287. 825. Not bad. We got long, right? Got long over here. Waited for all this choppiness. We know what was we know the structure for the day is down. We're selling off. We're down into this zone. We're bottoming out a little bit. We got something on order flow up here showing, hey, we might come up here and pick up liquidity. This is kind of where I was looking at that 510 area. That failed, right? We broke the low. Didn't get short right away, but my interpretation of this price action was we came down, broke these lows, broke this low, retested, and now I'm selling into momentum to the downside. If we were going to continue, let's see the thing pop right back up, right? If it's the fake out move, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes go by, we want to see it come right back up into the range, take Zach out of his long, and then continue up. That was on the table to happen. We didn't get that. We started to sell back off down towards this low. I got short pretty early on the first one, and the second one was here. That's where it was. Second one was here at, I think, at 34. Is it 34? Yes, 34. Sorry, guys. But this way you know what happens. We started to sell off, right? Got short here. This looked a little bit choppy, like, hey, we might just be coming back up. Failing to go higher. Volume looking really good on this candle. I sell again. I bring stop loss down, manage both to maintain $550 worth of risk. So I increased my risk by a little bit, by $50. But now I'm doubling up in size. I've got the opportunity to scale out like I did on this nice first push down, lock profits in, lock in $287.50, and then shoot for the next one, which was $500 and change. Locked it in, drug stop loss to break even, drug stop loss down. Again, I'd have to watch the video as I was managing this somewhere over here. Once we pushed lower, again, broke again, my thought process is, okay, now I got a new invalidation point. I don't want to see this come back up to this level. If it's going to continue down, I want to see it continue down now. We're going to come all the way back up here. I'll get taken out because I don't want to be short from that point anymore. Maybe I'll take a re-entry, something like that. We come all the way down here. I'm dragging stop loss, and eventually I'm dragging stop losses all the way down to this level, and then this level right here. Right? Yeah, this level right here. I think I have my stop loss right over here. As we started to come back up, I hit flatten all button, and we're out of the trade. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was still in over here. Drug it right down here, and then scaled out right there. Not a bad move. We came back up. I don't know that I'd want to be holding through this. This still looks bearish. I'm not in the trade. We still got that same level of liquidity at that 74. let's see what happens when price gets down here. I'm not going to hang out for forever now that we got out of that long trade, but we still got an area down here. I'd say 25, at least 50. That's where I'd be looking to see what happens if we do make it down here. This was initial target. We could see how the trade management plays out. You can go back in time and say, okay, 30 minutes went by. Hey, look, Zach, if you just held your trade, you never moved stop loss, you would have came all the way down. That's fine. On another day, we come all the way back up and stop me out. So happy with how this one was managed. Another green day on the live. Hooray. Stick around long enough, you'll see some red days. It was looking like that, right? Gave back profit. First trade was, what did we say? $312 a loss. No revenge trading, no sizing up, doing anything crazy. One contract. This gave me the conviction to scale in again as we were coming lower with some volume. Again, nice target showing up on Bookmap once we got into the trade. I can control risk. I like that. Double up my size and my potential for profit and keep my risk controlled in a new invalidation area that makes sense to me. Again, a lot of things could have went differently. We could have had to wick up. We could have needed to wick all the way up here, wick up above here, take Zach out of his trade, and then continue down. These things happen. Nobody's perfect. You're not going to get it right every day. You put risk on when it makes sense. You structure your trades. You manage them to the best of your abilities, and you let the odds play out in your favor. So this looks like it's coming lower. There's a short trade from right here if you want. Stop loss above here. 2 contracts, take one off right there. Target down here. I'm not selling it again. This looks like the run lower today, but this is enough for me. I'm happy with my 900 on the day, making back, some of what I had to give away. All good. Don't need to be greedy with it. If I had 3 contracts on, maybe we would have left a runner. I would have scaled out somewhere down here of one and just had one at break even. But, you manage it as you see fit. Again, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to get it right every day. Trade management is super important. Everybody wants to know how to do it perfectly. Decide what your rules are for it, how you're going to manage your trades, and then try to apply that with some consistency in the markets. If you guys got questions, Steven, I'll follow up with you. If you guys got any questions, now's your chance. Ask away. Long session, man. 2 hours and 26 minutes. Happy to get this one in. Happy to take a win with you guys. Win streak on the lives continues. I wouldn't say win streak overall because I've had some red days. If you follow along with me, you will know that. But I will be on here for the rest of the week, showing you guys what real trading looks like, showing you the losses, showing you the wins. Stay long enough, you'll see multiple wins back to back. You'll see multiple losses, and it will be, negative 320 and then negative, 600 or whatever the number is, daily loss limits. You'll see it all, man. But what I'm trying to display here is my approach, the way that I structure my trades, the tools that I use, how I apply my intuition and discretion, using some order flow as well, and the way that I manage my trades. And if that can help you guys in some way, I'm very happy to do that, that it can. So anyway, before I start mumbling anymore, because I'm tired after watching that one, talk to you guys in Discord. Join the free Discord. Lastly, again, I'm not a financial advisor. It's important that you understand this disclaimer. None of this is financial advice. None of this is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I'm just an idiot on YouTube trading. This is for entertainment purposes only. Trading's risky, extremely risky. Most traders lose all or more of the money that they trade with. You'll probably lose all or more of the money that you decide to trade with. You should read my full disclaimer on my site, realdealfutures.com, and in the description of this video. Also, read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, because that's what this is. This is a top step combine, guys. Anything combine or even XFA is technically simulated funds. So understand the rules of the nuances and the disclaimer behind that. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for hanging out this long. It's been fun, guys. See you tomorrow. See you in Discord.